Hello peeps, we are back. Why no video for a while? Because my time off work has ended, I'm back in full-time work and I needed to figure a way of working this into my schedule as well as holding down a 40-hour-a-week job. But we're back. A little less formatting, a little less doing what I think I should be doing to hit the hits. You're just going to get entertained by me being a bit silly, and we're going to bring you a new Steam game 5 times a week. It's just so that you can be a completionist about your knowledge and you can see those things out there that don't really receive much market coverage. But we're going to treat them as though they're AAA games and with respect to that, and we're going to review them. So what do we have for you today? What are we kicking off this brand new season with? We have Ophidia, a game about a snake. A strategy action adventure game according to their storefront, which seems to have really drawn its inspiration from Snake, the old Nokia game. But in that, where you hit your tail, it was game over. In this, when you hit your tail, you decapitate a part of it, and you have to keep playing to make your tail grow more and more. But the way you make your tail grow is by engulfing cute little animals in a circle, and making a complete circle around them. The reason why you're doing this is not exactly well explained, apart from you have to consume all life as the demigod in the game. Why, your motivations, there's no story in the game, so let's not even pretend. The thing that did draw me to the game, the thing that's beautifully and done well throughout the whole game, is the art style. The simple geometric shapes, the colours, it's all very, very beautiful. And you're taken through 4 seasons, which are portrayed very well within the art style of the game. The game controlled very well. The snake will follow your mouse. You can also apparently use a controller to do it as well. But I had absolutely no issues with the handling of the game. What is quite interesting is that if you hit an object that you're trying to engulf, you actually bounce off in a random direction. And this did add a nice little bit of difficulty for me, but this is going to be down to your opinion, because the angle you seem to bounce off at is quite random, and a lot of time I would just cut back through my own self at quite a low angle, so it'd be like near the last enemy and I'd have to start again because I decapitated my whole tail. But that's where the challenge does lay down, and what's very disappointing in this game is there's no building difficulty. The enemies do act a little bit differently, but it's all based around the same idea that they reject something off which damages you or stuns you, and you have to avoid that. But there is no extra added beyond that. In fact, there's one enemy that just freezes you and then stands still, so you half engulf it, it freezes you, it stops you for a second, but that's it, there's no danger to you. In fact, it just helps you because you have time to think about your next move. So that was very disappointing for me, that in these 4 levels, there seemed to be 4 very similar levels. And the level that actually took me the longest and I struggled with the most, I'm pretty sure was the 2nd level. Each level ends with you having to take on a boss, but the bosses are all the same challenge. You have to get a tight circle around them in the middle, because if you eat everything, it just about makes a good enough circle to make around them. So you have the challenge there that you have to make a tight circle around. But having to do this 4 times with 4 different bosses, I think just showed a bit of lack of imagination. The bosses attack in different ways, but the fundamentals is still the same when you get down to it. It's avoid their attack, and as soon as they attack, just start doing your circle. And you can avoid attacks just by keeping a little bit of distance. So for me that was really disappointing, because with a strategy game I would expect extra levels of a complexity to be added on to the early basic gameplay to offer me new challenges as I go through the games. The other thing that was a baffling choice is your snake follows a pointer on the screen. The pointer is generally the same blimmin' colour as the levels. In the red level you follow a red one, in the blue level you have to follow a slightly lighter blue one, which means that when you're getting pulled into the game, when you're making that tight little circle and you're like, oh, I can't make a mistake here, you end up losing where your cursor is. The design choice behind that is baffling for my mind, and all I can think of is that it wasn't an overthought from the mobile port to the PC port, that when you're pushing on the screen that's fine, but when you're having to follow a cursor, it being such a similar colour to the environment is horrible. The only thing where this relents is in the final level, because the middle of the map is orange, the outside's blue, so you're following a blue cursor, so when you get to the final boss it becomes a lot easier to follow. But why make that design choice? There's just no reason for it. So let's recap this for you. It's a beautiful game. It's £4 for about 40 minutes worth of play. There are 2 additional game modes other than the standard one that I've described. One's timed, one's a faster speed. But other than that, the variety just isn't there in this game. It's nothing that's doesn't seem to be developed upon, been added to. The length of the game, the lack of variety within the game, it's all very disappointing for me. And I can't recommend it even at £4. If you do like this game, you are interested, pick up your mobile device and play it for free. The 2 extra games and the controller support aren't worth it. But anyway, you go off and you enjoy the world. Well, if you found this video useful and you'd like to know about a daily indie game that you don't get to see covered on your bigger channels, then please hit that subscribe button. It helps me massively. And also, we will be giving away a game a week. We've started this week a little bit late, but we're not going to do you fans out. Unfortunately, I've only reviewed one game so far, so this is currently my top game. We'll be giving this away to one random subscriber in our Sunday show. Unless, of course, the games we review tomorrow is going to be any better than this, in which case you'll win that one. But you go and scurry off and do whatever it is that you're doing.